What is good, everybody, and welcome back to Team COG here. And today we're doing a post-commentary testing match for me and my buddy Matt. I just got off work and I wanted to get some few rounds in, so we're actually going to be showing Branded versus Sunavalon Rika here. And I end up winning the dice roll, as you guys saw. I get to go first, firing off 1 for 1. This deck is really insane, but do take note, this is kind of just testing. I've been out of the game for quite a while, so it's just me kind of like trying to get back into the swing of things. I know Branded Despia is going to be probably one of the top decks of the upcoming format. At least it's projected to be. And I just really, Plant Lake's probably like the only thing I have right now that I really truly enjoy playing. I know that in the future we're getting Mana Dome, and I am pretty excited for Mana Dome actually. That deck just kind of, I just like the way that deck does. And I've always, I really like Visa Starfrost and everything, so like, it's gonna be really fun to play that deck. But we're firing off Sowing here, protected under Regulus here, being able to get Regulus established under 5 summons. I know a lot of people complained and said this deck can't win because of like Nib and stuff existing and all this type of stuff. I think it's just complete bull. I think that the stuff that Therion stuff gives the deck is like okay. Using Jasmine, which is a insanely busted Link monster from the set. I think it came out the same set Hulk came out, and like everything is kind of banished, or not banned, not banished, but kind of banished, right, to the forbidden list. Came from that set. So like there's only a few cards from that Link set that we actually get that are still available to us. But we're going to go ahead, as you guys can see, we're going to link Mardell and Laurel into a second Jasmine. Laurel's going to gain 500. We're going to end up triggering both Jasmines to grab Snowdrop and Madon. Doing the typical like Sunavalon plant route here, going into Melis, Melis to Reborn, bringing back the Loki go into another Drias. Drias is going to grab us that Sunvine Sowing again. For a follow-up, potentially, or a discard, I'm contemplating what to do. I'm just going to go ahead and fire off the Shrine. Go ahead and discard the second Lily I had in hand. We're going to go ahead and turn that into the Big Tree. The Big Tree is going to grab us the kind of like weaker skill drain that the deck has, I'd say. But if you guys enjoy the sleeves, like the extra deck sleeves or the main deck sleeves, check out Imperium Duelist. Use COG5 to get 5% off. They have some awesome deck boxes. I know they just released the Earth and the Light one, which I got to pick up hopefully soon. I ended up missing out on their run of their like Warlord mats, which are huge, like a big sad there, but that's okay. We're going to end up using the Madon to tribute the Begalancer to go ahead and grab us Glamour, and or grab us Concon, then Concon's going to grab Glamour. Glamour's going to grab us Primula and the Princess. Primula's going to see the tribute happen, special summon itself, and then we just get to freely summon the Princess just because we can. Go ahead and using the Queen to add back the Madon for a follow-up. And then we're going to go ahead and bring out Begalancer by banishing 2 monsters that equal the Link rating of 4. And this is our inboard here with 1 set. It's actually quite a lot. We have a Regulus Negate, a Bounce, a Skill Drain. So there's 3 there, plus a Princess in the Grave, which is technically 4, along with the Tribute with the Strina to give us 5. So we have like 5 forms of disruption here, which is actually kind of bonkers that one vanilla monster got us all this. And do take note, like, there's like a weak protection as well. We're going to see Patchwork fire off, and I'm just going to go ahead and negate Patchwork because I know that Patchwork gets him Poly and gets him Egypt Saber or Egypt Chain, one of the 2, and I just know that I cannot have that happening. So that's just a really good card to negate. As he's going through his cards, I kind of see him like have Super Poly now, but he's going to activate Albion, and he's going to use the ability to special summon it. So to me, as like, what if I remember this deck anyway, at least like... the way my man Matt plays it, he lives and breathes by like Super Poly. Like the deck's not too crazy, but Super Polying away stuff is like really strong. And like, I'm not dumb. I see he's trying to get this card to be on field, which puts Albaz on field. So I'm gonna go ahead and Rika Princess it here, which is not like totally good in a way, right? Because I'm not able to utilize the Princess to like use Concon and stuff. But I use Princess to tribute the Strina to go ahead and trigger Strina. Strina is gonna be able to summon out the Hyperion. And here comes the Branded Fusion. This card's fair, right? This card is fair, but anyway, he still has to play through technically 3 forms of disruption now: a Hyperion Negate, a Begalancer Bounce, and the Skill Drain below, which is Sunavalon Bloom, which is Skill Drain for everything currently face up. So he's ended up going to try and Chain Block here to make Lubellion to be able to Fusion Summon, and of course he has the Tragedy, but I'm going to go ahead and fire off the Skill Drain, negating the Lubellion, which puts me in a very good spot. He has 2 cards left. I'm sitting pretty good. But I believe Tragedy is going to grab him the Aliber, I believe. I believe that's the card he ends up grabbing. The Aliber, or it has to be Aliber, right? I'm just trying to remember. This was pretty late at night, so just kind of, yep, there it is. There's Aliber. He's going to be able to use the Aliber on normal summon, but I'm going to have the ability to just negate it like right away with the Hyperion, unless he does have like Super Poly in a way. I believe he, well, no, I know he has Super Poly. I saw it in his hand, but I do believe we had something kind of come up here. You guys will see, I think, right here shortly. Not really come up, but just kind of like a misplay. not really even a misplay. He just tries to fire off Aliber and then chain the Super Poly to the Aliber. But I get the opportunity to respond before he can chain Super Poly. So you guys will just see it happen here shortly. He's asking like what he has to play through still. And I'm just telling him, like you have a bounce, you have a negate still. You can't technically target the big tree in the top to like attack, because of its effect. It cannot be destroyed by card effects, all this type of thing. But I prefer this list over like the standard, like lower, more mid-range, just pure Rika build, I'd say. Just because I think that this build has such a higher ceiling and more versatile to play through like hand traps and disruptions and all that type of stuff, which I really, really, I think is just better personally. So he's still just thinking about what he's going to do here. So he's going to normal summon, and then see he tries to fire off Super Poly right away. And I'm like, are you using Aliber's effect or anything? And he's like, yeah, I'll use Aliber's effect. And I was like, well, I get the ability to chain. Then he uses Super Poly, and Super Poly's off that. And then we actually get into like a conversation that he thinks that the Aliber is going to resolve, but Aliber does not resolve simply because Aliber is like Hyperion does not target negate, so it doesn't like remove the target. Hyperion just negates the activation and destroys it, so like the chain resolves backwards, so it's still going to successfully negate the Aliber, but he's going to go ahead and summon, like, I forget which one this one is. It's like the armor or whatever. It allows you to like make everything 0, which is not too bad, I guess. I do believe he does make a incorrect play here. I believe he whacks over the Hyperion, which I think he should have gone for Regulus, but like I kind of see his thought process a little bit, right? You go ahead and you get rid of the Hyperion, that gets rid of the attack gain that the big tree can get, but like this deck's pretty decent. We go standby main. I read this guy. This guy ends up just leaving the field. He lets you special summon, so like I'm in the driver's seat right now. I can go ahead and use Snowdrop using Concon to tribute it for cost to special summon. And then he'll attempt to fire off the Fusion's effect in Grave. I'll negate with Regulus. And he tries to say that he tries to bring back Aliber, but Aliber says by effect. And the card was left by cost, not effect. So Aliber does not get to come back. Maybe you guys can comment down below and let me know. But I'm pretty sure that's how that works, because that's also like Mirror Jade as well. Mirror Jade gets to return if it's removed by opponent's card or something like that. I think that's the interaction this deck kind of had over Mirror Jade, was that it doesn't remove it by effect, it removes it by costs, which allows it to play through it. But we're doing pretty good. Snowdrop target herself. We go ahead and make a rank 8, and then we get to fire off Shrine to go ahead and bring back the normal seed, and then the normal seed goes ahead and turns into Thrasher. Thrasher target the big tree, becomes 4,000, and that is more than enough for game. 4,000, I can attack with 4,000. I can attack with the teardrop, and then if I need to, but I don't have to. I can go 4,000, then 3,000, and then I can attack with the big tree using Sunavalon Bloom to gain the whole attack of everything it points to. And we get to wrap it up and jump into a game 2 scenario. And here we are. Please remember, guys, if you guys have not liked or subscribed, go ahead and give a like or subscribe. We're now actually just going to be able to upload a lot more like local stuff, which is going to be really cool. And we go into this game 2 here, and my buddy Matt should have went first, but he decides to try and since we're testing, right, he wants to try and play second. So he sides in a lot of going second cards, because this isn't like locals or anything. We're just trying to see and test like our side decks and stuff. So he is testing more for going more second. But Lily just happens to float to my hand quite a bit in these games here, so I get to go ahead and fire off Lily to grab the Colosseum to grab Regulus, and I get to summon Regulus all under 5 summons, which means like my opponent that Nibiru can just suck it. And as you guys can see, I'm scrolling through, I have Dark World No More and stuff like in my main deck, because I thought I was going to go first, but he decided to, make me go first, which, I mean, is okay. I didn't set out anything too crazy. Doing the standard plant stuff. I was going to say the standard because there's like multiple ways. Doing the Sunavalon line here that the deck has. He does I believe he does have Nibiru actually, which is insane. I hard opened Mardell, which, some people are like, oh, Mardell's a brick. So we're going to get to see it here. If Mardell, you guys get to see how much opening Mardell kind of influences the hand here. We go ahead and summon off Laurel off of the Arrow Mage. And then we just go ahead and special the Princess from her hand. And still get to search our 2 cards. We're going to go for Madonna, and I believe we just go for Snowdrop yet again here. And then the Sunavalon Melis to bring back the little seed, and Jasmine make another Melis again, and to Drias to add a Shrine. Another additional follow-up or additional extension. We go ahead and fire off the Shrine, pitching the extra seed we opened to bring back another seed. And we get to go ahead and make ourselves the big old tree again. This is why I just prefer this list, man. It just has so much gas, such a higher ceiling. And it's just it feels like it's really hard to stop this deck on a good hand. But here we go. We end up making a I do think I made a minor miscalculation and misplay here. I used Madon, tribute the Bega Lancer, which I don't think is my misplay. I have to do that. I have to tribute that right there. We're going to use Madon to go ahead and grab the Concon, and once I use Concon, I get locked into Plant. So it's very important for you to get Regulus out before you commit to Concon, or before you Snowdrop or summon out Rika Princess. I believe those are like the restricting cards. But we're going to go ahead and set Rika Sheet here. And we're going to go ahead and use Snowdrop, tribute off the Madon to summon itself in Mardell. Mardell's going to grab us a Surge. And I believe I go for Lone Fire, which I don't know if that was correct or not. I really, like, there was nothing really I needed to add because I already had Princess in Grave. You know, like, I was just really kind of set up. But we go ahead and we're going to use Snowdrop, target herself to go ahead and make everything level 8. Bega Lancer here before we move on. And we get to set one card and pass it. So during the end phase, he's going to try and nib. I'm going to go ahead and respond with Regulus here. See again, if this was any other plant link build or plant build that was not running Regulus or Therion, we would have lost already. So for all you haters out there with Therion stuff, you'll learn one day, especially since nib and stuff is coming back into the format. But here we go. We're going to go ahead and fire off Patchwork. I'm just going to go ahead and shotgun the Regulus just to go ahead and get it off the field. And so there's one negate. We still have a bounce, a tribute, and then a snatch steal, and a skill drain, and the princess. So we still have like 5 forms of interruption. It's actually quite insane. So he's going to go ahead and use this card. I kind of contemplate negating it, but he wasn't really clear about what effect he was actually using until like he said he's just going to draw a card, which I'm glad I didn't negate it because like if he was going to summon it, he wasn't clear. So it was pretty good that I didn't just fire off and try to negate it. So go ahead and let him draw. Doesn't bother me none. He's going to normal summon Aliber, and I believe I princess this. And I believe I use Princess to tribute it, to use Concon to tribute it, to go ahead and get it off the field. So since it'll tribute for cost, it's not like he can chain anything like Super Poly or something to like fuse anything. But he has branded Fusion yet again. This card is literally just insane. I think this card is actually just quite nuts to believe that like I understand like Shaddoll Fusion has like a restriction, right? But like Branded Fusion really doesn't. Like, oh no, you're locked into Fusion summoning. Whoop-de-doo-dah, you know? Like Shaddoll Fusion at least said your opponent has to control an extra deck monster. But I would say this is probably like every deck has like an unfair card, right? Or has like a few unfair cards, and this is just one of those cards that like should branded and like stuff have. So here comes Lubellion again. It's the very same from like the first game. He's going to go ahead and try to fire off Lubellion, pitching a card, pitching a tragedy from hand. I'm going to go ahead and just fire off the Bloom because I just can't have Lubellion for, triggering. If I can keep him off of the Albion, I'm pretty decent, I believe, because that's going to prevent him from getting to Mirror Jade and stuff like that. He has 2 cards in hand and a lot more disruption to play through. He's going to go ahead and banish the Tragedy to go ahead and set the counter trap, I believe. I believe that's the counter trap. Don't quote me. I'm not too fluent in branded Despia, but yep, he gets to set that, and I believe he attempts to go ahead, and as you guys see, there's a hand movement. Before he goes, I'll go ahead and use the Teardrop to tribute, and that is pretty much all that she wrote for this game, just because I'm going to be able to use the Shrine to bring back a Seed, make Thrasher, and that is just way more. But actually, take that back. Oliver ends up coming back, and because a card left the field, not by effect, because Teardrop does not tribute for effect, it does not tribute for cost, it tributes for effect, which I'm all right with. We'll go ahead and draw, standby, main it up here, go ahead and use Bega Lancer to bounce it back, and that'll be about all she wrote, because that's going to be 25, 28, and then 4,000, which is more than enough. As here comes Seed to Thrasher, and then there we go. That is 4,000. That is more than enough game for a game, actually, so thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. This is Charles from Team COG, signing out.